Did I coconut oil douche the light? I think I did. Hold on. I think that made it worse. Totally pro. I'm here hiding behind the lamppost because you can't really stop out here. Well, you know why. You see why. This corner is a nightmare when this band is playing. You can't really get through there. They're good. Like they're a family. I talked about them a bunch of times. The kids are good. And then I think the dad or whatever, he's the one that in between songs grabs the mic to do the white people bad thing. And it's mostly white people watching him. Usually the big one comes at the end, of course, because, you know, he doesn't want to cut into the money. And it's always something along the lines of, you've stolen this land, so you're bad, which we didn't. I mean, and by we, I mean, you know, people like me, because he likes to say that. He's like, remember, people that look like you stole this land. It's like, all right. We aren't going to talk about the JQ here. Who had the money? Who had the boats? Who had the... And whatever. I'm not getting into that today. I'm trying to have a nice night here. It's just real hard to walk around out here, as you can see. The best time is morning. That's the Falun Dafa, Falun Gong. Doing a little demon spotting. And I guess cop spotting too, I guess. While we're here, might as well. So the slow drip is, slow drip still dripping. With people about the thing. You know, what other people are beginning to understand is they want people to freak out. They want people to realize what they've done, you know? And they're starting to. There's a lot of fucking denial, though. Like, you get those, you know, I've seen moms talk about, like, how doing it to their kids, and, like, their kids died, and they're still like, you know, I'd do it again. It's like, I know you would, you sick murderer. I guess when you're committed, and you're committed to this whole thing, I guess it's hard for people to realize that they were wrong, you know, or were fooled in some way. So they'll just stick to it, you know, they'll just stick to it. I want to go up in the treehouse, but a little busy in there. I was up there the other night, did a video from there, but I erased it by mistake. Very professional operation here. Yeah, it's slowly dawning on people, though. I mean, you can see it in, like, social media spaces, especially if you look on Twitter. And there is anger there, and that the farmers are counting on the anger. Like, that's part of the plan. The plan is for people to get mad, freak out, and turn on their local governments, you know, people that impose this shit on them. Like I was saying the other day, it's not close up in the castle. He's just saying this is what you should do, right? But it's all the people in your community around you, unfortunately, like your friends, your neighbors, your family, that are actually going to act as the long arm of tyranny, and you know, force you into a situation. They'll put your back against the wall. It's pretty evil, of course, but the whole thing is. But I mean, that's where the pressure comes from. Klaus doesn't come out of his castle and put this and do this. No, he just puts the idea out there, and the system tools those without divinity, who are just here to, you know, do what the system says. what the TV says, whatever media tells them, and then they try to get you to do it, you know. And it's like something people are coming around to, which is the hardest thing. If you were legend enough to avoid it this far, and you pass the humanity test by not folding. And I know there's some people that, you know, they had to do it because they have a family, and I feel bad for those people that were like, they knew that, or had an idea what it was, but they weren't given a choice because they had to, you know, feed their kids or whatever. I feel bad for those people. And as terrible as they were to people like me during this whole thing, you know, wanting to make us second-class citizens in the same country, put us in camps, maybe fucking put us in hospitals, kill us, whatever. You know, the rhetoric started really ramping up. Like, what are we gonna do about the unveed? You know, we've run out of patience with the unveed. There are people who want them to die, like all this kind of stuff. It was horrible. This guy, I think I might have talked about it already though, but it was great. He was giving the analogy like we all were stranded on an island, and the people around you decided, hey, we got to eat these people, like you know. And then you get rescued. Everybody's driving home from the fucking island. It's like, man, you guys were gonna eat me. Yeah, I know, but you know, we didn't have any information. You know, you can't go back to normal after that. You can't go back to normal. It was good because it revealed what some people are capable of doing, and that unfortunately that a lot of people around you are a danger to you. But yeah, the family and friends thing is tough because usually someone that resisted and didn't do the thing, take the science juice, the mystery concoction, they're kind of usually the only one in their family. Maybe there's a couple of them. And the thing you gotta kind of come to terms with is that your family, you know, whether it's your parents or your siblings, they're system tools. They're fucking robots. Sucks. You know, it sucks. I was talking recently about an Anon that did some kind of math equation based on different kinds of statistics he had to try to figure out how many people have divinity, are real, or versus how many people here are system tools. In the sense that they're literally tools of the system that were created when this thing was at sort of a training area where it really isn't anymore. And they're still out here operating like all the other levers of this system are out here. And he came up with the number 12% of real people, of people with souls, of people with divinity, of people that aren't likely to drive their children into a lake with them. You know, you hear these stories like Oklahoma woman, fucking Oklahoma man kills entire family and kills. We don't do that kind of stuff. Someone with divinity has empathy. They're usually not the people that do those kind of things, or become a dog serial killer or something. But it just sucks to have to come to realize that, you know, a lot of the people that were in your life that you've known forever aren't like you at all. You know, they're very different. It's good though. I mean, you know, you should, if you made it past the past couple of years and didn't do the thing that you were being compelled to do, you should be proud, man. You know, you should feel good about yourself. Even though no one's gonna, you know, give you props for it now, of course. You know, they're more likely to drag you. But if we ever end up in a world where there's any sort of reflection on this point in time, I don't think there's going to be much more road here. Like, I don't see like a new society will form, and you know, there will be new history, and you know, we'll look favorably back on those who passed the test. It won't. I don't think we're going to live in that kind of world. I think this thing is kind of wrapping up. You know, whatever you think that means to you. You know, oh, I haven't seen this guy in a while. It's a non. Just call him a non. Oh, okay, get off the internet. This uke playing guy. I haven't seen him in a while. I keep my money like a child, balled up and balls. Crazy.
Thank you.
Thank you. You know, and occasionally, when you keep your money balled up like a child, you'll think you're throwing in $2 and you throw in a 1 and a 5 like I just did. It's a good cause though, you know. The guy's out here sharing his art. He's definitely a divine being. Usually anyone that's doing some kind of art, chances are they have divinity, because if you have divinity, your main gig is to create. Here, anyway. I think part of the school trope here is it was an area to learn how to create. I think that ties into a lot of this old world architecture, or what they call Tartarian architecture. You know, whatever that is. I think that could be a whole psyop anyway, that whole Tartarian thing. But anyway, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But a lot of those buildings, those giant buildings with all this very impossible to build kind of architecture, especially when you consider when it was supposed to have been built, like these giant cathedral type buildings with big bronze statues hundreds of feet in the air. And it's like, what'd you guys build that with again? Horses? You had wood? Yeah, no. I think those were part of the people just training their imagination, like to build things. I've heard stories of guys that were on DMT trips, or read stories about this, where they would come across these groups of people building castles with their mind. And that stuck with me. Because you look at all the architecture that still exists that they didn't destroy because they have to tear their shit down because it raises too many questions. None of these places look like they had considerations for human beings living in them. None of them have any kind of plumbing or any kind of heating or any way to make them cool. It's almost like they were just designed like to like just try to design a place without the thought of anyone having to live in it. You'll find whole cities like this. I remember London didn't have like a sewer system until the late 1800s. The late 1800s is kind of when the whole new kind of history line came out. You know, history, whatever history we're living in now. That the latest group of people that populated the area. But the city had been there for a while and no plumbing. It's like, what were they fucking doing? Because I think about the DMT guy. When he came across a clearing of just people that were building castles with their mind. Because the architecture here, there's similar architecture all over the world. Things that, unless they had some kind of anti-gravity check, which I don't know, I mean, it could be that, would be impossible to build. Impossible. Oh, have we seen a cop yet? I don't think we have. No, I would have noticed it. You won't see him walking around, no fucking way. There's this thing on trial, I think it's Travelocity, someone's pointing out to me, where they, this area is referred to as largely unpoliced. It's like, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. We won't see any. But, yeah, your deal is to create. You should always be trying to create. even however you can work some kind of creative thought into your day. That's why like the AI art is, it's weird anyway, but what it does is it allows system tools like an NPC robots to think they're creative. All you're doing, they're not artists, they're prompters, because you're just typing in words and then you wait and then you get an image. I can see applications for, like, it doesn't matter what I can see. That cat's out of the bag. It's going to go where it goes. But if you're, an advertising agency, or you're, trying to make some cheap art for whatever, graphics, magazine cover or something, whatever. It puts people out of work, of course, which is another way that machines are replacing people. It's all of this, the transhumanism thing. I'm starting to put together which means I have the picture up here on the board, and I've got a red piece of string going over here to the board. I'm putting together the idea that these Mandela effect body changes, which are all positive, they're all upgrades. They defend our organs, they defend our brain. You can look at the shit yourself. Is going to work in tandem with this kind of tech that they're having, that they want to implant in people, almost as if they got the body ready for that stuff to come in. It's weird. I'm trying to figure out where they want to put this stuff, or how this stuff will rest once it's in your body, and try to line that up with what we've seen in the Mandela changes to our bodies, and then try to do like some kind of overlay. I bet I don't a lot of information about what is going to be possible as far as implanting kind of cybernetic parts or pieces. It's not all out there yet. There's very early stages of it, but it moves quickly, and I think these are going to work together. And then you got to also tie into the final battle with God into this. That I talked about it a couple months ago, and it could just be my point of attention, but I'm seeing it now all the time. People talking about this showdown. Satan is building his armies. So a possibility is that these bodies that are being changed, they've been changed with the Mandela effect. However the fuck they do that, I don't know. And then adding this technology to it will then create these perfect containers for the demonic entities, which have no bodies, and that's why we find them in homeless people out here, to go into, and then fight whatever kind of fight this is going to be. When I used to read about it, or read the Bible stuff, I thought it was metaphorical, like there's some final war. But the more like time has gone on, there's like, it's kind of literal, I think. Or it seems like that way. It's wild. And I was also talking about how I think there will be a time when there will be things on this earth that will make men's hearts fail, like the Bible says. I think it all ties together. And with the increasing push to get people to put technology in their body, and a lot of them already have, it makes me think we're getting further up the road toward that happening, and God returning. And he's not happy. He returns with a sword and smiting on his mind. But it's going to be okay. We're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. I know people don't understand it, but I think this is something we knew we were going to be here for, or kind of volunteered to be here for. I don't know. I hear this a lot. I know people be like, I wouldn't want to be in this hellish place. I get you. I'm just reporting my findings. which is really, that's everything I do here. And occasionally discuss Phil Collins and Duran Duran. Still playing the teacher, playing the school.